Eliza, in the finale, and all things are relative on the 100, but I felt like Clark, relative to other finales, had some optimism, when she told Allie, we'll beat this, basically, that we will get through this. So these are pretty formidable odds Jason's mentioning, but do you think at this point Clark at least feels like, well, we've gone through a lot, and maybe we can do this too?
I think it's interesting because she's realized, as Bellamy says at the end of season 3, you don't look like someone who just saved the world. And she says, because I can't, like we didn't. And I feel like it's going to be really interesting to watch a group of people, humans, trying to survive again in a world that this is an enemy that we can't defeat. Mm-hmm. So how do we move forward? And of course, in true Clark fashion, that will be her trying to get everyone on board. But there'll be some very different reactions, I think. You would agree with that?
Yeah, we're definitely going to see the range of reactions. Clark will be Clark, and she'll fight till the last dying day to save everybody.
Yeah.
Sort of transcending tribalism, realizing that everybody is her people, something that she learned from Lexa. And I think that ultimately we'll see others react in a very different way. One of the ways that we find hope and light and some humor, which I think the show could use for sure, is people are done.
We could use some.
Some people are just done fighting and they just want to have a party until the end of the world. So we'll see that too.
You still have that, that plant or fruit out there they could take and...
Yeah.
The nuts?
Yeah, the nuts.
Yeah,
there you
the
go.
nuts.
That's only in the winter, though.
I believe that was episode 8, season 1.
Yeah.
Nice little trip.
That could be a reprise. Now, Ian, Kane had such strong resolve in season 3. He stood up to Pike. He stood up to Allie, but then obviously he did give in to save Abby's life. And then it was such a wrenching experience we saw when they were brought out of the City of Light at the end. It just seemed to rock him to his core. How much do you think that's going to sort of stick with him going forward? Or will he, just have to keep going because there's a lot to deal with?
Yeah! What? I think Kane is fairly pragmatic, even though he's grown a lot over the seasons. But I think one of the things I like about him is that he sees what needs to be done, and hopefully he won't delve too much into the PTSD and just, he as a good leader, I would hope he would put others before him and put their needs and concerns before his, and try and lead people out.
Mm-hmm. Or away, somewhere.
Somewhere.
Marie, I'm guessing that some of the humor they're going to try to bring in a little more this season might not come immediately from Octavia, given where we left off. She's in a pretty dark place right now, made this decision, and especially, I guess, the timing of the decision might have some raising their eyebrows. So what do you think is her next move, given the way things ended so starkly for her in season 3?
Octavia tried to bandage the hole in her heart by getting her revenge on Pike. But as we know, that doesn't quite fix it or bring Lincoln back, does it? So next season, you're going to see Octavia take a really dark turn. It's possible to go darker. We always surprise you on the 100.
We strive for darker.
And do just that. And Octavia's going to go ahead and do what she does best, which is killing people.
She's pretty good at it.
And you might see her
skills.
Yeah. Special skills on her resume. Yeah, assassin. That's what you're going to see her do next season. And that's all I can tell you. Or I'll have to kill you.
And Lindsay, Raven, too, went through a rough season last year. In the final episodes, though, she seemed to sort of get her old spark back, being Allie-free. Do you think, she's feeling her old self again, maybe more than she has in a long time?
I think Raven's feeling herself. But thank you, Minaj.
I just got that.
Thank you.
No one's going to take that out of context, don't worry.
But I kind of think it's not the same Raven. I think, she got the Allie upgrade, so her, she's definitely like a Raven 2.0, but I think it's I think it's even better than that because I think she kind of went through an evolution and almost like a reincarnation of everything she went through. She's not only stronger mentally and intelligently because of Allie and the knowledge that Allie left behind and has created in her brain, but it's but emotionally and spiritually, you know, she's been to hell and back, and it, you know, was kind of boring to her. So she didn't die. So I feel like she's a totally different Raven on a different level, ready to take on the biggest enemy yet.
And Chris, you know, Monty, he had some big personal losses last season, some of which unfortunately he had to participate in. How much has this changed him? You know, going forward, you know, the character, you know, has always been a very lovable and amongst some of the 100 characters, a lighter character. But do you think you can't come out of this not very changed by all that's occurred?
Well, it's humanly impossible to kill your mother twice. But I will say that there has to be some optimism involved. After Mom Death 1, maybe he would have collapsed. After Mom Death 2, I think he definitely would have quit. But I think given the stakes, first of all, he has a possibly blossoming romance, which is exciting for him. And also, it's the last moment between him and Jasper. You really feel hopeful for the first time in a very long time since like mid-Mount Weather that they're going to be okay. So I think for him, he's more motivated than ever, especially because of the loss of his mother, to keep protecting his chosen family.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, Richard, I actually would say your character in some ways did have, again, all relative on the 100, a lighter season. And certainly he found someone, he found the Bonnie to his Clyde that he seems to really care for in a different way than we've ever seen him. And, you know, has that been interesting for you to explore that side of him, given what the character was when we met him?
Yeah, 100%. I got to take a second, though, because I've been waiting a long time for this moment. And I'm taking this in, because this is the most beautiful sight these eyes have ever seen. I've been looking a long time to see on the screen with the little Comic-Con face behind me. That's pretty damn cool. But yeah, no, it's, for me, that was such a different part of Murphy, because it was always, you know, you look out for yourself number one, which I think is fair in a situation like that. But I said this earlier in an interview, man, like life's nothing without love. Once you find that, yourself doesn't really matter anymore. So I think, yeah, absolutely, it still matters to him. But he found someone he can kind of share life with, and for at least now. And I love that for him. Honestly, I'm just really happy. There might be, for the first time in my time playing Murphy, I can see the possibility of maybe a happy ending for him. Mm-hmm. And that's really cool.
We'll see.
Yeah, Jason. I spoke too soon. Right. She's dead, huh?
Now, Jason, let me ask you about a couple characters that at the end of last season, their fate was a little bit up in the air. We had Roan dragged off. We had Indra severely hurt. Can you talk about these characters and their status?
Alive and alive.
Okay.
Yes.
And Rowan, played by Zach McGowan, is actually joining the cast as a series regular this year.
Woo!
I think you guys all knew that.
I think I didn't.
I object.
And so he'll be back in a big way. And Indra was on the cross, as we know, because Kane told Octavia in the scene in the finale. And one of the first things we'll see is Octavia, you know, figuring out how to get down and finding her way to Indra. Mm-hmm. So happy midpoints for both of those characters.
Okay. And we'll be seeing some more of Indra then as this season.
Yeah, for sure. Adina's amazing. We have a deal with her too for a certain number of episodes. That's the way it works. A little too inside baseball, but yeah, she'll be back for sure. I love her. Mm-hmm. Love that character. I love what that character reveals about the world and what that character means for Octavia, especially.
And then one other character I wanted to ask about, because she made a big impression near the end of last season, was Luna. We met. Now, obviously, made a big decision to not help them.
Yeah.
But will we be seeing her again? Well,
Nadia Hilker, who plays Luna, will definitely be back as well. She was a breath of fresh air. I love the sort of total 180 from everybody that we've met so far in the Grounder world. And her character will come into our world again. I don't want to spoil how she enters the scene, but in a world that is beginning to collapse environmentally, and the effects of what I think Allie mentioned, black rain and boils and all the plagues of the Bible start coming down. They're out there on a rig, so they're the canaries in a coal mine. And so we'll see her.
Clark, has now spent so much time around the Grounders, lived amongst the Grounders. Just how much, has she? Maybe she hasn't. Although she has obviously taken on some of their physical characteristics and clothing. How much does she feel comfortable with them now versus, her people with the Ark?
Well, let me tell you, the clothing is not comfortable.
No.
I think she feels very comfortable. I mean, especially through Lexa, she feels like she's a part of them and wants to protect them as much as she wants to protect the Sky Crew. We are a crew now. That's the thing. We're the 13th clan. I mean, the Ice Nation. We'll work on that, but they don't really like that very much. But I think that it's been a crazy transformation in season 3 for Clark. Just kind of understanding the ways of the Grounders and wanting to amalgamate our worlds for good, for the good of the human race, and especially now with this new threat, I think it's more important now more than ever.
Mm-hmm. And Ian, you mentioned the fact that Kane is a leader, which he definitely is, and a very natural one, and seems to be a very skilled one. But he's often, last season he kind of didn't want to just take that role on, which ended up kind of backfiring on him with Pike. But he also is, at times, as I look back at season 2, he kind of acquiesced a bit more to Clark as a leader when Abby wasn't really ready for that. How does he feel about, Clark and the fact that she's sort of risen up as this leader figure almost alongside him at some points?
I think I didn't give it up to Pike. I think foolishly I thought that I would win the election, and I lost. And I blame Bellamy. And so how do I feel? Well, we'll see. Now there's a void in leadership, certainly in Polis, and there's no elected chancellor. So I think Episode 1 will answer that question, because we need to fill that void very quickly. Yeah.
I think just to chip in on that for a second, Eliza Clark this season sort of owns her power. She's earned it. She's saved the world last year. She's done enough.
I pulled a few levers.
You've pulled a few levers, for sure. One too many, maybe. But yeah, so I think Kane and Abby as well recognize that. Like they recognize that they're dealing with someone special, and it's her time. It's her time to do it again, really.
Yeah. And I think it's about time that we spoiled something for everyone. It turns out that Kane is my dad. Sorry. All right. No, that's it.
That's kind of interesting, because in the first episode, season 1, I was meant to be somebody's father, but then
it still might be you.
somebody else's father in the script. I don't know if Jason ever made that public. Did you ever make that?
No.
I don't know if we ever.
Can we tell them?
What?
Yes, it's not true, but yes, it's true
It's
that
not
it was
true.
supposed
I'm
to happen,
trying to-
but it's not the case. He's not her father.
I'm no longer.
Right.
That is that confirmed?
Oh.
You can say. Did you say?
No, because I was supposed to be Marie's dad.
Yeah.
And all the
What?
way, and I was all the way through, and I said I should be Bob's dad.
The story. Here's the
Marie's Bob or Bob's dad, right? Wait a minute.
Bob's dad.
Bob and Ian call each other son and dad like every day on set, by the way.
In season 2, we started messing around, and I said, I'm going to play it like I'm your dad. And then he went, okay, dad. I went, okay, son.
There's that scene in the pilot where you're looking at the iPod or the thing.
That's right. Yeah.
Bellamy Blake.
Octavia's face was on it, and you were looking at it longingly a little bit, right? And then in walks Cece, the vanished girlfriend of Kane's, and it felt a little like you were looking at a girlfriend while your other girlfriend.
I see, right. It was a bit creepy. I get it.
Wait, Octavia, the daughter, is your girlfriend?
It looked like
How many
No, that's not
Are you
different.
full about dads? Are
It's
you
a whole 100 alternate reality going on here. What?
100 / Jerry Springer.
Marie, let me ask about the fact that Octavia's clearly tried, she's had such a struggle to fit in, and she thought it was with the Grounders, and that didn't work, and she ended up back with her people, but never really comfortable. Is that feeling more extreme than ever now, given everything that's happened?
Yeah, I think she felt like her home was with the Grounders, and then she just felt like her home was wherever Lincoln was. And then it's been throughout that loss and her self-discovery in the past 2 seasons on who she is and what she does to fit in. Indra's really helped her hone in on, home is in here in your heart. So she's really sort of figured out who she is in that department, and again, and what she's good at. She was like, well, Raven's the mechanic and Clark's the doctor. What am I? Who am I? And she really found her home within herself and becoming a warrior, and that's thanks to Lincoln and Indra, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I like on this show, there's such a big cast. So sometimes we don't really see characters interact together, and then suddenly you do, and it's like, oh, this is interesting. So, Lindsay, I'm curious, last season, for instance, Raven and Jaha had some notable scenes together, which was kind of the first time. Is that fun for you, just as far as you work with these people, but sometimes you don't directly work with them, and then you get to bounce off that different energy?
Oh, definitely. I think it's anytime we get to work with each other or anyone that we haven't, been working with a lot each other in other storylines, it's exciting. It's like you get a new friend to play with. I mean, Isaiah is amazing, and he taught me so much just seeing the way he works and being exposed to his process. So I really enjoyed it, and I love that we have a big cast. So it's always a constant door of fresh faces and fresh ideas and fresh art. So it's very exciting.
Mm-hmm. Similarly, Chris, for you, it's, like Monty and Jasper. That was like the duo for the first couple years. And then in season 3, you guys were separated, from each other for a lot of that. As much as people love that pairing, was it also cool for you to have the Monty and Raven scenes, and of course the Harper and Monty scenes?
That's a great question, Eric. Well,
thank you, Chris.
While I have you all here, quick show of hands. Who's a fan of the Monty Harper connection? And who's
the first 3 rows.
Who's disgusted by it? Whose stomach just turned thinking about it?
What?
2 people.
You.
Get out.
And who's like forget Harper? It's Miller time. That's what I thought. Okay, back to the question. Yes, I was asked this a lot earlier about working with Lindsay specifically, because I don't think we'd had 2 scenes together beforehand, and so
I told you your mom was dead.
Yeah,
Give it up.
that. And so this at the end of the season, we had the scene where I had to do Mom Death number 2, and I was feeling very nervous about it because it was probably the biggest challenge for me in season 3, and so I was so grateful to have Lindsay by my side, because to have someone that you trust and is so invested, like new faces, it forces you to up your game and create yourself in a new way. It's those are some of my favorite scenes of season 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to ask quickly, Jason, about Jasper, just because in the finale he came back out of the City of Light, and there was a nice touching scene with him and Monty, but a lot of people wondered where his head was at as he walked out of that room, and just how dark things could have gone.
Yeah, that scene actually, I wrote, this is there's been a little bit of talk about this, so I might as well just admit to the original ending of the finale.
Ooh, okay.
Spoiler.
Which was Jasper comes out of the City of Light and leaves that room and goes and blows his brains out. But it was too dark even for me. I lived with that scene in post. By the way, I have to say, brilliant scene. The boys crushed it. Jasper was amazing.
Devin was unreal in that
Oh my
scene.
God.
Unparalleled.
Chris was so good. You were so good in that scene. I don't think anybody will ever see that scene. But it was really just a horrible way to leave what was a really dark season. And I just felt it was not the right ending. Plus, I felt there was more in the tank for Jasper in terms of.
And we love Devin
Yeah.
so much
True.
that, like, how could we let him go, really?
Yeah, and we're gonna really, I mean, that's the truth. It just was something that I, in my gut, didn't feel right about, and so I cut it, and we found the better ending. So.
Plus, every couple years, Devin gets unkilled on the
Yeah.
show.
He
That's-
does.
It's unkillable.
It's his annual thing.
Right. Meanwhile, though, Richard, it seems like to me Murphy is like the most adaptable character on this show. It's like you wouldn't think that initially, but then it turns out like every situation, every character he gets thrown into, he somehow manages to make it work.
Well, he's a smart guy, man. You guys don't give him enough credit. Just because he spelled die wrong like once doesn't mean he's a dumb guy. He just didn't go to school properly. That's just the system, though. Yeah, no, he's an absolutely adaptable guy. I mean, his track record shows it. He's a survivor, as we've always said, and as Lindsay just whispered to me, a cockroach. Thank you. I'm glad to know what you think of me.
A lovable cockroach.
My favorite.
Everyone's favorite cockroach. Yeah, but you can't get him. That's not a challenge, Jason. It's not a challenge.
Well, what I think is interesting about where you are now is that you are a part of the group. Like you,
Yeah, which
pumped
is great.
that
Which is
hard
very,
in the
for like the
finale.
first time ever.
You kept Clark alive while she was
I
in the City of
actually
Light.
thanked you for once.
Yeah, I
like,
didn't
the
know how to
first
take
time
that.
Ever.
That was
It
weird for me.
It felt weird, but it was cool.
All right, nerd.
see how
Like,
long
get away
that
from me. You.
Okay, you can sit at the cool kids table, basically.
Oh, that's exciting. It's kind of nice to actually be part of the group and kind of see how that might work out. Because you guys, I feel like you owe me a little bit, just a tiny bit.
I don't know about
I
that.
feel like me and you are square now, though, right?
We're even.
We're good.
Even Steven.
We're good.
I don't think so.
Never mind.
More debt to be paid. So let me ask Jason about the season finale, and obviously we got to see Lexa again in that finale in the City of Light, and very cool sort of return moment and some big action stuff there. There was a lot going on there as far as the flame and the City of Light. The City of Light is gone now. The flame still exists. So is that accessible again? Is the City of Light accessible? Is Lexa and the other commanders?
I would actually really like to know this.
Prior to her?
Well, the City of Light is gone, for sure. Allie's gone. The flame exists, of course, and all of the minds of the commanders are in the flames. The finale was designed really from day one. We knew Clark was going to take the flame. We didn't know the details of it, but we knew Clark was going to go into the City of Light. She was going to need her friends in the real world to keep her alive long enough to take out Allie, and she was going to need help on the inside too, and that meant Lexa. So we always knew Lexa was coming back in the finale. We always knew there was going to be this triumphant, romantic, emotional moment. And it was designed both to be that return for that character and a finale. So Lexa's not coming back to the show. She won't be in season 4. But ultimately, the flame is an important thing. We realize that the flame is a political artifact as well. Whoever holds the flame in lieu of a Nightblood,
Right.
before it can be put into a Nightblood, has power. And we'll see it play itself out that way this season in a very different storyline.
Because there's still no true commander. I mean, there was one, but after some really weird heart massaging, she's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Clark is not the commander. She's not Haida.
No.
There is no commander, and there are no Nightbloods that want it that we know of. Right? So, but there will be Nightblood scouts. Titus had scouts out in the world, and we will see one of them and meet one of them, and it'll be an interesting thing for her, that character, when she shows up, in terms of how she's going to deal with what happened with the flame and who has the flame, and what is left of her religion, of her spirituality.
But as an aside, Richard, was that one of the weirdest scenes you ever shot? The reaching into someone's chest to hold their
Easily.
heart?
I'm going to cut you off there easily. Thanks a lot for that. It was just very sticky, and it felt like keep in mind I don't actually know what a real heart feels like, so I was about to say it felt like a real heart, but there's no
And she
way.
was playing crossword, wasn't she? In between
Yeah,
takes?
yeah. Rhiannon in between takes was just like doing crossword puzzles.
I know, poor thing. That day was hard for her.
Yeah. She was honestly, I gotta say that though, she was a trooper through
She was
all of
such a
that. She
trooper,
never
seriously,
complained
yeah.
once. She was just laying at a table for
Yeah.
days, because that that whole sequence, that final sequence, was such a laboring thing to shoot. It's such a big task.
That was a huge day.
It was.
yeah.
I mean, turned out though.
Eliza, I do want to ask, Clark, obviously everyone's gone through a lot of loss in this show, but Clark's sort of history, it's like she lost her father, Finn, Lexa. Is this, hardened her, or is it just made her even more protective as a person?
Apparently, I have the kiss of death. That's what I've heard recently. Yeah, it's hard. Of course, it's hardened her. She'll never be the same. She wasn't the same the second she had to witness her father being executed. And then from that point on, she had to see a lot more and actually execute people herself. So she's hardened, but in a lot of ways, I think, through her relationships with her group, her core group, who are here now, and with Lexa, and she has found camaraderie and doesn't feel quite as alone as she once did, which is a positive thing.
Hey, it's Alexa.
Yes, and I've got an Octavia
Oh my God!
and my grounder bodyguard
Wow.
to protect me from stray bullets.
Awesome.
So seriously, I'm a huge fan of the show. So is my entire family. I kind of made them all watch it so they could suffer with me. Yeah. But my question is, you guys look like you have a lot of fun on the show, but if you could play any character other than your own, regardless of gender, who would you play?
Monty. I love Monty. I seriously do. I have a slight obsession
It's the first
with
time you can say it,
Chris.
and I'm
I do.
actually here.
Oh, we're down the line.
That
Sorry, I zoned out just thinking. I love Kane. I only want to play Kane. Is that big-headed of me?
Yes.
I don't care. I love Kane.
Just skip Ian. I
love
skip
Kane.
Ian. Fair enough.
I'd play the horse because then I'd survive the longest and I could just run away.
Oh, smart.
Not the gorilla.
Yeah, the gorilla.
He's still out there. Yeah. What's his name? Pumbaa? I don't know.
Oh no.
Pow wow.
Oh, no.
I'd play Lexa. I'm #1 Lexa fan.
Hell, man, that was mine.
Get over it.
I'm still gonna say it, so
Oh, okay.
act shocked in a minute.
Sorry, I was just zoning out thinking. I love
about
I love Kane. I don't is that yeah, I like Kane. I would play
We
Kane.
got two Kane.
Big head? You like his big? It's his big head. Yeah.
Well, now that Lindsay ruined it, I've always said I loved Lexa, but at the same time,
This is you like makeup.
well, I do. By the way, everyone on Twitter who wanted me to redo my nails, guess what? The chipped nails are here, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. So just take that and run with it. Lexa, I just think what Alicia did was untouchable, though. I think she was fantastic in it. Who would I play? Funny, actually, I originally auditioned for Bellamy. You remember that, Jason?
What?
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't remember that.
I remember that. Yeah, that exists. That tape exists.
That
burn
is
it.
so funny.
Burn it.
Give us your Bellamy.
Murphy.
That's not bad.
I'm done.
Thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Tobin Carter. I'm a big fan of your show. I have 40 people who have all been told 20,000 times by me to watch it, and now they're all 3 seasons in. So yeah.
40.
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people. My question is, what is one of the craziest things that happened during your audition process for the show?
I can't answer that.
Well, Eliza never auditioned.
I never auditioned.
That was crazy.
She's that good.
We didn't know.
was
We
crazy.
didn't know how she was going to be till day one of the table read of the first
yeah.
script, and I was like, "Please be good, please be good, please be good."
Yeah.
And obviously, we were amazingly lucky and blessed.
Thank God.
Chris.
That was scary.
Chris's audition was particularly good and memorable. Actually, he ate chips the whole time while he was auditioning. I don't recommend that, but it was very funny.
Well, did it work?
It did.
Sweet.
It did, for sure. And Lindsay walked in, and I don't think I've been a part of an audition like that before. It was just like, this is
that's
it.
Raven.
Just walked
That's
in,
Raven.
and like we shut it down. Literally, it was the first day, and we shut it down.
Thanks. Had you ever heard that before?
I don't know if it's true. I mean,
It's totally true, and you know it. I've definitely, I mean, it was day one, maybe the second person. I looked at the casting agents and I said, we're
done.
We're making the show right now. It was like we were really busy. It wasn't during the pilot. It was for episode 1 of the show, episode 2. And so, so there was a lot to do, and it was like your gut, when something like
she's
that
good
happens-
enough. Let's go.
Yeah,
Do you
good
guys
enough.
Do you guys want to
Good enough. Move on.
I feel like we're missing out that Monty's chip eating hasn't made it into the storyline.
It has.
Are
the
there-
nuts.
are there
That's
any-
how
The
we eat
nuts.
chips.
All
For
right.
any prospective actors out there, if you ever have to make a self-tape, I highly recommend wearing
Eating.
gold hipster glasses, eating tortilla chips throughout the entire scene, and just ad-libbing as much as you can.
Was that for Jasper or was that for Monty?
No, that was for Monty.
It was? Jasper, I think, auditioned for Monty too.
Yeah, even auditioned
Yeah.
for Monty. Yeah, that was great.
There's a whole other version of the 100 out there.
Yeah, that would be very strange.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys, my name is Lisa and I'm from Russia. And,
Здравствуйте.
and I wanted to ask you to pretend to be Jason for a second. And if you could wish for one thing to happen to your character in the upcoming season, well, hopefully seasons, what would it be and why?
Can I just remind you, he's our boss.
Yeah, this feels like a trap. Is this a trick?
Yeah.
This is the writer's room.
So
Right?
this is the writer's room.
Okay,
All
we're in
right,
the writer's
I'm
room.
Jason
Great.
Rothenberg right now. Let me think. Maybe I could have a scene where I like laugh and smile and like have a
Sing
really
a
good
song?
time.
You want to sing a song?
Good luck with that.
No singing.
I'm Jason Rothenberg. Oh, give me the glasses. Can I have?
Or glasses.
There we go.
You have the beard.
Jason. Now I am. Okay. You know that guy Ian? You know we should get him to direct an episode.
You know what?
Maybe
okay.
episode 11. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea. Why don't you direct an episode this season?
Okay.
He's
I'll do it.
directing an episode this season.
Well, if I'm Jason Rothenberg, then I would put more flashbacks in to tell all of our backstories.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's good.
Love those.
Come back.
Less torture.
I just want a motorcycle. Oh, give Raven a motorcycle. That's a brilliant idea.
I've got something better for you this season.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Not gonna
I'll take it.
say what it is.
I've never shared one line with this man over here, so I'd love to have a scene with Murphy.
Really? You
Double up
guys?
on that. That's my wish.
Really?
Yeah, we discovered that we've been in the. I chased him, remember, up the hatch, but we never
nice.
exchanged lines. Not once have we said words to each other. So I'm gonna
Wow.
double up on
What
that
is this,
one.
Monturfey?
yeah,
Trying to think if that's
Don't
going to
start
happen
it.
this
Don't
year.
start
Is that
this.
going to happen?
Make it happen, Jason.
Murphy?
Is it going to happen? I don't know.
Murty's
I don't know.
cute.
know if you can make
We'll try to make it happen.
Kick it around. See what happens.
Season 5.
Yeah, season
Okay.
5.
I did want to, as a follow-up, I just wanted to ask about flashbacks, because you did have that episode that was set on the Ark,
Yeah.
which was really cool to see, but was it interesting to really make sure that all lined up correctly and that, kind of tracking where each character would be?
Are you talking about
the one-
The-
307?
Yeah.
313.
313, I believe it was,
313.
yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I was so scared that I would look so much older.
Me
Well, the
too.
hardest part about that episode. The hardest part about that episode is that Eliza's character was in a cell, right? So
Yes.
we wanted to have her come out on the stretcher. That was your.
Yeah, that was
your
all I had to do that day. That was
participation.
an easy day of work.
It was hard. It was actually a lot of fun, though. Really fun to be able to go back.
It was so weird putting on the old costume. I was like, oh, it still fits, thank God. Yeah,
And it showed up again.
yeah, it did in the season finale. Yeah, I would love more flashbacks. I think that would be awesome for us.
Oh.
Can we do it?
Well, I'm not going to spoil whether we're doing any flashbacks
Okay.
this year, but when we do them, it's usually to try to illuminate something new. Like it was
Yeah.
Raven who took the spacewalk, or it was
Right.
Wells who was covering up for your mother. Like there's usually some real important story point. So we could certainly do it. It's in our toolbox.
Cool.
Next question.
I wanted a prom episode. I wanted a prom episode.
A prom? Yeah. I never got to go to a prom. I'd love a prom.
Never went to prom either.
Space prom?
Do they have proms on the Ark? Is that a thing?
Space homecoming?
There was a dance though. Octavia.
Yeah,
got arrested.
Octavia was arrested. at the
Raven
dance.
didn't get a go.
I wasn't there. No, I was in solitary.
Everyone's hot.
Next question, please.
Hi, I'm Joyce from Malaysia. So my question is, what was the hardest scene you've ever had to film on the show?
Oh, sorry.
Gosh. I've had a few.
Saying Unity Day.
Saying Unity Day, which I still even can't say in an Australian accent. It's just
Say it
hard.
3 times in a row.
Unity Day?
Oh, you know.
There's a lot of outtakes of it. I think they're online. I think one of the most challenging, and maybe Lindsay, you'd agree, was Finn's death.
Yeah.
That was a really, really hard night
Yeah.
and day. I think we worked until 7 a.m. that day.
I was in Santa.
And you were in Santa Monica. We were in the forest in the freezing cold.
The rain.
But loving it, obviously. That was incredibly emotional and painful. And obviously we were saying goodbye to Thomas McDonnell, who we love. And then it's between that and Lex's death, obviously, was a very, very, very emotional day. And we both cried a lot. And so did Dean, our director. And you did too.
I did.
He cried, yeah.
You know, the show is quite physically challenging. There's, especially when it gets to December time, it gets very cold and very wet. I remember episode 213, Dean directed an episode. We were up till 6 in the morning shooting, and it started to rain, and we're outside. That probably was the most physically challenging, I think. I think we were all in that episode, in that scene.
Which
Well, and you live in Hawaii, so you're not quite used to
we used
it.
to island.
You were there. I think you left early.
Oh, I did?
No,
Lucky me.
I'm only joking.
Also,
Yes, I do live in Hawaii.
Lucky
yes.
can I, Ian, for 1 second, just Dean's name's come up a couple times, and he's an executive producer this season. I really wanted him to be here. He's prepping episode 1, and I think he deserves a little bit of a shout out. He's directed.
yeah.
15
Hi, Dean White. We miss you.
15 episodes.
Shout out to Dean White.
He's really
Shout out to
the
Dean White.
unsung hero of the show. for
Yes,
sure.
he needs to come
our
to
exec Dean.
a
I
con.
really wanted him to, but we're prepping. We just started prepping, and so.
All right, well, I guess he's busy.
Yeah.
I have a challenging story. I'm not sure how appropriate it is, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay, so the episode where Octavia was trying to convince Lincoln to go to Luna, but he wanted to stay in Arcadia, I began the scene on my knees cleaning the horse's hoof, and we had to completely change the camera angles constantly because the horse kept having a...
She could tell that.
So we had to keep changing the camera angles because it looked like the was attached to my. So that made it pretty awkward.
Was that really hard?
Do we have outtakes?
Was that a hard?
It was probably an outtake.
You have photos. I've seen the
So
photos.
I then hit with a stick to make it go away because I was supposed to cry. That's what the horse trainer said to do. He said nail it with a stick, a little bit, like a flick, a light flick. Not with my hand, with a stick. Anyway, end of story.
Octavia. That's the best one. That's awesome.
Top that one, guys.
I don't think I'm even going to try.
Don't know if I can. Like
wanna drink
just
of
being tied up and possessed, but that doesn't mean,
Comparatively
that
to the
doesn't mean
horse, it's
that.
nothing now.
But yeah, Raven's alley possession was just was brutal. I mean, we
That
all
was
were there.
crazy.
And amazing. You were so
No,
amazing.
that was like I have never
Crushingly
watched
good.
a woman work so tirelessly and give zero complaints. I tip my hat to you for that. That was a day.
Thank you. But honestly, I mean, I had everyone here besides you. You didn't.
I
You weren't
don't-
there.
I don't.
You weren't there either.
I was in Hawaii.
He was in Hawaii. But everyone here, they had my back. They were helping me with everything. We had to do kind of a scary stunt, and I was nervous about it, but I didn't want to say anything. And Eliza stepped up for me and talked to our director, and that made me feel really supported by by the family. So even though some of the scenes are so brutally taxing physically and emotionally and just like awkwardly.
Yeah.
It's so great that we have each other to just,
Yeah.
help and laugh and, support us when one
We
of us
need
are
to
really
laugh or we will always cry.
We can be in the trenches, but
Yeah.
that one for me was,
Yeah.
that was intense.
That was the night I did a set visit to the 100.
you were there.
Yeah, but the only person I didn't get to interview was Lindsay because they're like, Lindsay's
She
tied
was
to the
tied
bed.
to
A little tied up,
Not available.
literally.
Yes. Chris.
I had to learn how to drive stick for the Rover this season. There's nothing scarier than driving at night in heavy fog with a camera like 2 feet away from your Rover with someone who's only driven stick for an hour. So that was scary.
You did it.
Good.
You did it, though. Nailed it.
Physically, I'd say the hanging scene in season 1 was pretty
Oh my
challenging.
God,
By
yeah.
God, if it wasn't.
I don't
one
like
of-
those ones.
It was like one of the best scenes. I loved shooting that scene though. It was so much fun. Like
great.
anything you get to throw your body into, they kind of helps the scene.
That was honestly the hardest thing that I've had to watch on our show, period.
Our
It was-
stunt team does such a good job at the rigging and everything, so it looks very
It was-
real.
yeah, it was-
Too
Still
real. Too
scary.
real. Yeah.
but a ton of fun. So hardest, but also one of the most fun times I've ever had.
I have to ask a follow-up on the Rover just because it strikes me that, they all grew up in space. They adapted pretty well to driving a car. Should we assume that there was some great driving stimulating video games on there? Simulation
Yes,
games?
sir.
They definitely had Xbox. And, they also had 3 months in between season
Right.
2 and 3, so they learned.
And
Off
Raven,
cam.
Raven built that car from scratch, so
You don't even really drive it.
it's the Raven Rover.
You just use your mind. You just need somewhere to put your hands. So,
I just think there could be a great montage of everyone learning to drive and crashing constantly.
That's our flashback, Jason.
I still don't know how to drive, so maybe you
don't.
could teach me. In real life, I don't.
We need to work on that this year. Let's make it a goal.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Next question.
Got it.
Hello, I'm Lauren from Hemet. My question is, so imagine there was like some extra radioactivity and you all got powers. What would they be?
What?
Ooh.
They're characters or them as
The
actors?
characters,
Oh, the
yeah.
characters. Oh.
I
Gosh,
would like
that's-
to know what everyone is thinking all the time. That would be my superpower.
As Kane.
Mind reading?
Game, yeah. That would help
Okay.
with my diplomacy,
Oh,
I
because
think.
you're so political.
Jesus. Anyone else?
Ooh, I would like to feel no pain.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Good one.
Feel no
Feel
pain.
no pain. I'd be, like Wolverine, right? Or heal really
Sorry, I
fast.
killed that for you, babe. City light.
It's okay, babe.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Sorry, babe.
I'm dealing with it.
Gosh.
Flight.
I would love flight. No. I think I would love. I'd love for Clark to be able to freeze time so she can just think for a goddamn second about what the hell she's gonna do. That would be mine.
Do you age in that time?
No.
You would
Completely.
freeze,
It's
okay.
frozen.
Right.
I get to stop bullets. I get to
Right.
that like Piper in Charmed. You remember that? That's what I would do. Yeah.
Yeah, I like her answer. Me too.
Gentlemen.
Me? Okay.
You want to know how he feels.
I want to know how he feels. I want to know, yeah. Well, that's my own guy, though. But he already knows. I already know that.
Yeah, I know that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with immortality. But he might already have that, so.
Did you say immortality? or
Immortality. That's a power, kind of, in a way.
No, yeah, it is.
Vampire.
Yeah, that was
Ooh,
mine.
vampires.
That was mine. You took it.
Was it?
Yep.
Flight. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
No invisible.
We'll go to
like to
flight.
be invisible?
You could have taken it.
Well, I have some other priorities to focus on.
Yeah, fair.
Thanks. Next question, please.
Hello, my name is Colette. I'm from here, San Diego. My question is specifically for Eliza. With your role as Clark in the most recent season, what was your most fun scene?
It's an interesting.
Okay. Do you know what it was like? The most fun. Okay, so I think we all remember me and Alicia in the bed together. We could not stop laughing. Like, honestly, it took us so long to shoot this scene because it was absolutely hilarious.
Laughing or giggling?
There was a lot of both. There was a lot of. It was so funny. I have some hilarious selfies from that day actually, and I did say that I would, with Alicia's permission, I will post one of them soon. Yeah, no, that was it was so much fun, and it's amazing that they got a shot of us looking passionate and not like laughing at each other.
Thank you very much. I see some familiar faces out there.
Oh, is that? There's a Clark and a Bellamy.
Oh,
It's a Balark baby.
I've seen you guys before.
Yeah.
You took a picture with
Yes.
them at WonderCon.
Could we hold your baby?
Do you want to come up here and pretend that you're Bob for a couple questions?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Oh, their mic's not on.
On.
Hello? Try now.
Oh, there.
Oh.
Hey, there we go.
Hi.
Hey.
Yes, anyone can hold this baby anytime, please. Please.
Open
Oh, I
invitation.
would
Great.
love to. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Caitlin.
I'm Rogue, and this is Laura.
Hi, Laura. Hi, Laura.
Oh, she is chill.
I know,
She's
right?
way too young to watch The 100.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Cool. And so our question was that if your characters had the day off to save themselves from worrying about their impending doom, what would your characters do for fun or to relax?
I would lie on a beach, maybe get a couple of cocktails, chill out in the sun. That is what I would do.
Pretty much the same, I think. You know.
Well, you do that anyway.
Yeah,
you
you
live
do
in
that in
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Relentless. I kind of do, but no, I think in our show you never see us like enjoying a sunset. I'd actually go hang out with my tree. I think I'd do that. Go
Your
check out
bonsai?
my
With your
and
tree?
maybe walk-
Bonsai
Your
tree.
bonsai tree? You love that bonsai.
Check out how it's
Octavia needs to take a shower. That's what I think.
Yes.
We're going to use that shower. There's an outdoor
Oh, we
shower.
really
We'll-
need
we'll
to.
see somebody taking a shower.
My hair's gotten a little.
Nappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone else?
I'd get a massage
Nice.
from.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
My leg. Lower. Sorry. My leg.
I think Monty would find a nice secluded space with Harper
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
and discuss political science all day.
I think Murphy might find a nice secluded space by himself, away from anyone with fists. and he might just lie there and weep. But like good weeping. He needs a good
fetal
the boy needs a good cry, and I think he'd just have a good cry. And then the next day he'd be fine. He'd be like, I feel pretty good, yeah. I'm all right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, Laura.
Oh, deja vu.
That's hilarious because my name is also Laura. So I was like,
Oh,
what?
and
Okay.
you're a clock. Hi. That's
Hi.
awesome.
Good to see you. I've been told I'm the last question. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no.
I'm sure it's amazing though.
Thank you. So my question is for the ladies. What does it feel like to be some of the best, most complex female characters on television for like you as an actor?
Wow.
Oh my God. That's a great last question.
Yeah.
It is an absolute honor. I cannot tell you how many times I have played the dumb, blonde, slutty best friend of some guy of, you know, that that whole character. I've done that for 15 years now, and the last 3, I've been able to play someone smart and strong and responsible and worthy, and it honestly, like, it gets me emotional because it makes me so happy, and I love that we're in a day and age now where women can be portrayed that way. Yeah. And I gotta thank this guy for it.
Yeah.
All you.
I'm an auntie. I have nieces and nephews. So I'm just happy that they can watch TV and look up to me, doing something positive, inspiring other, not just women, but young boys as well, or just people in general. We're not, I don't want to name names or sail anybody down the river, but nowadays, thanks to social media and a lot of things, I find young girls are looking up to the wrong kind of things. All I know is my niece's friends are wearing some. I was like, wow, I was not wearing that little of clothes at your age. So it's pretty cool that we get to play warriors or really smart mechanics or doctors, and we have the best job ever. I'm glad you guys like it.
Just to extend on both Eliza and Marie's comments, I personally am extremely grateful because as a woman, especially as a woman of color, it's funny how Hollywood will want to put you in a box, and that box is labeled maid, or that box is labeled pregnant, or that box is labeled, just a girlfriend or a slut. And that's so, I don't want to say demeaning.
Degrading?
It's demeaning.
It's very demeaning.
It's so demeaning and degrading because women are so much more than that, and it's not even like, oh, women are stronger these days. No, women have always been strong. Women have always been complex. Women have always been capable and able and amazing at at life. It's just now Hollywood's finally catching up to the norm and waking up. And I'm so grateful to be part of a show and a network and a team of writers and a creator that sees the value in that and sees how important it is to portray that representation for women in the world and the mass media, because media touches us all. That's what we need. We need to see examples of empowerment, because when we see that, it no longer doesn't seem abnormal, but it seems like that's the norm, to have empowerment. And that's what we need the message to send. Extremely honored and grateful.
Well, that is a good note to end on. These guys are about to start making The 100 Season 4, which is debuting mid-season on the CW, so please thank everyone here from the
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much.